2026 airport rules that are catching travelers off guard right now. Air travel in 2026 looks smooth on the surface. The departure boards are glowing, coffee lines are moving, boarding announcements sound the same as always. But behind the scenes, airport rules have quietly changed, and travelers are getting caught off guard every single day. Passengers are being denied boarding over digital approvals they didn't know they needed. Carry-on bags that flew for years without a problem are suddenly being measured, tagged, and charged at the gate. Lounge access is disappearing even for premium credit card holders. Biometric facial recognition is replacing boarding passes. And power banks? Some are being confiscated without warning. These aren't rumors. These are real airport rule changes happening right now in 2026, and most travelers don't find out until it's too late. The biggest mistake people are making this year is assuming that travel works the same way it did last year. It doesn't. Airlines are enforcing policies more strictly. Security technology is more advanced. Boarding systems are more automated. And flexibility? It's shrinking fast. In this video, I'm breaking down the exact airport rules that are catching travelers off guard. And more importantly, how you can avoid the fees, delays, and denied boarding that are ruining trips before they even begin. If you care about stress-free travel, smarter packing, and staying ahead of airline changes, make sure you subscribe right now. This channel is your early warning system for travel updates that most passengers only discover at the airport. Because in 2026, the travelers who stay informed are the ones who actually make it to their destination without drama. Let's get into it. Number 1. Digital travel authorizations. Before you even leave for the airport in 2026, your trip could already be in trouble. And most travelers don't realize it. One of the biggest airport rule changes. Catching passengers off guard right now involves mandatory digital travel authorizations. These are online pre-approvals required by certain countries before you're allowed to board your flight, even if you have a valid passport and visa. Here's the problem. Airlines are now strictly enforcing these digital approvals at check-in. Why? Because if an airline transports a passenger without proper authorization, they can face heavy fines, and they're responsible for flying that traveler back at their own expense. So instead of taking risks, airlines are denying boarding immediately. And this is where travelers are getting stuck. Many people assume their passport is enough. Others think they can apply for authorization at the airport. But some approvals take hours, even days, depending on verification checks and application volume. If you discover the requirement at the check-in counter, it's already too late. What makes this even more confusing is that these digital systems aren't always widely advertised. Requirements can change quietly, especially for international routes. Here's how to protect yourself. Always check your destination's official government entry website at least 72 hours before departure. Confirm whether an electronic travel authorization, health declaration, or transit clearance is required, even if you're just connecting through another country. Air travel in 2026 doesn't start at the airport anymore. It starts online. And if you skip this step, your journey could end before it ever begins. Number 2. Stricter carry-on enforcement. For years, travelers have pushed the limits of carry-on baggage. Slightly oversized suitcases, overstuffed backpacks, duffel bags that usually fit. In 2026, that grace period is over. Airlines are now enforcing carry-on size and weight limits more strictly than ever, and passengers are paying the price at the gate. What's changed? Measurement bins are no longer optional props sitting near the counter. Gate agents are actively requiring bags to fit inside, and not with force. If your bag doesn't slide in smoothly and completely, it's being tagged and sent to the cargo hold. And the fee? In many cases, it's higher than standard checked baggage rates. Even soft bags and backpacks are being measured more frequently. It's no longer just hard-shell suitcases under scrutiny. International routes are seeing stricter weight enforcement too, with some airlines weighing carry-ons before boarding. Why the sudden crackdown? Flights are fuller, overhead bin space is limited, and automated boarding systems are designed to speed up the process, not negotiate exceptions. Some travelers assume boarding early guarantees bin space, but in 2026, automated boarding gates are rejecting passengers who approach before their assigned group. That means no early rush, no squeezing bags in sideways, and no last-minute favors from gate agents. Here's how to stay ahead. Measure your bag at home, including wheels and handles. Check both size and weight limits for your specific airline, not just general standards, and avoid overpacking just in case. Because this year, if your carry-on doesn't fit perfectly, your wallet will feel it. Number 3. Biometric boarding and facial recognition. Boarding a flight in 2026 doesn't always require a boarding pass anymore. Across major airports, biometric boarding and facial recognition systems are rapidly replacing traditional document checks. Instead of scanning a paper ticket or mobile QR code, cameras scan your face and match it instantly to your passport and booking information. It feels futuristic, seamless, fast, but for travelers who aren't prepared, it can also be confusing. At security checkpoints, boarding gates, and even immigration counters, passengers are stepping up to a camera instead of a scanner. Within seconds, the system verifies identity using stored passport data and airline records. In many airports, participation is optional, but opting out may mean longer manual checks and slower processing. On some international routes, biometric verification is becoming the standard procedure. And here's where delays happen. Lighting conditions, hats, glasses, or even standing slightly out of frame can cause scan failures. Travelers unfamiliar with the process often hesitate, look away too quickly, or try to present their boarding pass out of habit, slowing down the line behind them. There's also a growing privacy conversation around facial recognition technology. Some passengers are comfortable with the efficiency. Others prefer traditional document screening when available. The key is awareness. If you're traveling internationally in 2026, expect to encounter biometric boarding. Keep your passport accessible. Remove hats or large sunglasses when approaching the camera. Stand still for a moment and follow on-screen instructions. Air travel is becoming more automated and less forgiving of confusion. The smoother you adapt to the technology, the smoother your journey will be. Number 4. Lounge access restrictions. For years, airport lounges were the hidden escape from travel chaos. Quiet seating, complimentary food, reliable Wi-Fi, a calm space before boarding. In 2026, that comfort is getting harder to access. Lounge overcrowding has pushed airlines and third-party programs to tighten entry rules, and many travelers are being turned away at the door, even with valid memberships or premium credit cards. What's happening? Capacity limits are now being enforced aggressively, especially during peak travel hours. Some lounges are no longer allowing entry more than a certain number of hours before departure. Arrive too early, and you may be denied access, regardless of your status. Programs like Priority Pass are also facing restrictions at select airports. Certain lounges have reduced participation, added blackout periods, or introduced wait lists instead of immediate entry. That means even if your card advertises lounge benefits, access is no longer guaranteed. Airlines are also tying lounge entry more closely to ticket class. Basic business fares may exclude lounge privileges that were once standard. Elite status alone isn't always enough. And here's the surprise many travelers discover too late. Some lounges are quietly prioritizing their own airline's premium cabin passengers over third-party members when space becomes limited. The result? Frustration at the entrance desk. Here's how to stay ahead. Check lounge access rules the day of travel through the airline app. Review time restrictions. Have a backup plan in case of wait lists. And if lounge access matters to you, confirm eligibility before booking your ticket, not at the airport. Because in 2026, lounge access isn't disappearing. It's just no longer automatic. Number 5. Advanced security scanner changes. Airport security in 2026 looks familiar, but the technology behind it has changed dramatically. Advanced security scanners are now providing far more detailed imaging than previous systems. And while that improves safety, it's also catching travelers off guard in ways they didn't expect. Items that once passed through checkpoints without a second glance are now triggering additional inspections. Dense foods like cheese, peanut butter, or tightly packed snacks are being flagged because they appear suspicious on high-resolution scans. Multi-device chargers, layered electronics, and portable batteries are drawing closer scrutiny. Even neatly organized cables can create dense clusters that require manual bag checks. In some airports, passengers are being asked to remove more electronics than before, not just laptops, but tablets, cameras, and large battery packs depending on scanner type. And here's where confusion begins. Procedures now vary more widely between airports. One airport may allow everything to stay inside your carry-on. Another may require half your bag to be removed and placed in separate bins. Travelers relying on what worked last time are finding themselves delayed in secondary screening. Portable power banks are receiving particular attention. Capacity limits are being checked more frequently, and loose lithium batteries inside bags can lead to additional inspection or even confiscation. The result? Longer lines and unexpected bag searches. The solution is preparation. Keep electronics easily accessible. Avoid tightly stacking dense items. Ensure power banks clearly display watt-hour ratings, and follow local instructions instead of assuming universal rules. Security screening isn't necessarily stricter, it's just more precise, and precision leaves less room for surprises. Number 6, boarding group crackdowns. If you're used to lining up early the moment boarding is announced, 2026 may come as a shock. Airlines are cracking down on boarding group enforcement, and this time it's automated. At many gates, digital scanners now control the process. When you scan your boarding pass before your assigned group is called, the system doesn't quietly allow it anymore. Instead, it rejects the scan instantly. In some cases, a loud alert tone sounds, and a visible message flashes on the screen. There's no negotiation, no subtle nod from the gate agent, no, just this once. Passengers are being directed back to their seats until their group is officially announced. Why the change? Airlines say early crowding slows down boarding, blocks walkways, and creates unnecessary tension at the gate. Automated systems are designed to keep the process orderly and reduce gate congestion. But here's what's catching travelers off guard. Boarding early no longer guarantees overhead bin space. Because the system now strictly controls entry, trying to rush the gate doesn't give you an advantage. It just draws attention. Gate agents are also under pressure to follow boarding protocols more precisely. Exceptions are becoming rare. Even elite travelers are being asked to wait if their group hasn't been called. The smarter strategy in 2026? Stay seated. Monitor your boarding group carefully. Approach only when it's announced. And position yourself near the aisle when your group is about to be called instead of forming a crowded line. Boarding has become more automated, more structured, and less flexible. And the travelers who adapt are the ones who board smoothly, without the public rejection. Travel in 2026 isn't about luck anymore, it's about preparation. The airport may look the same. The planes still board, the announcements still echo through the terminal. But the rules behind the scenes have changed, and they're being enforced more strictly than ever. Digital travel approvals can stop you before you even reach the gate. Carry-on bags are being measured without exceptions. Boarding groups are automated. Lounge access is restricted. Power banks are inspected. Even seat assignments are shifting in ways that surprise families at the last minute. None of this is meant to make travel impossible. But it does mean that the casual, I'll figure it out at the airport mindset no longer works. The good news? You're now ahead of most travelers. You know what to check before leaving home. You know what to expect at security. You know how airlines are tightening policies quietly. And that awareness can save you hundreds of dollars and hours of stress. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure you subscribe right now. This channel is dedicated to keeping you updated on airport rule changes, airline policy shifts, TSA updates, and travel hacks that actually matter. New rules are rolling out faster than airlines announce them, and staying informed gives you the advantage. Also, don't forget to like this video so more travelers can avoid being caught off guard. Because in 2026, smooth travel isn't accidental. It's strategic. And I'll be here to help you stay one step ahead every time you fly. Safe travels, and I'll see you in the next video.